What's up guys, today I'm taking a look at the latest mini ITX case from NZXT that's aimed at system builders who prioritize performance gains via water cooling over the space efficiency that often comes with small form factor chassis. This is the Manta, and it's just about the largest ITX case I've ever had the pleasure of reviewing due to its curved panels which give the case a very unique aesthetic. This case is so curvaceous it's like Joker and Kate Upton had a baby. In her dreams. Such bold designs are generally a love or hate affair, but even if you prefer a wet cardboard box to the look of these panels, it's hard to deny the quality of their solid steel construction and excellent ventilation along the top and front of the case. The curvature also leaves extra breathing room for fans, which aids in overall airflow. Both side panels sport captive thumb screws, and we get a massive side panel window to show off your rig to your friends, assuming you have any. Removing the front panel gives us access to a removable dust filter for the two included 120mm fans, or up to a 280mm radiator. There's even room underneath the dust filter to house two more fans for push-pull configurations. Atop the case is a clicky power button adjacent to a white power LED strip that doubles as a hard drive activity light, mic and headphone jacks, and two USB 3. Popping off the top panel reveals the same fan and radiator mounts that we saw at the front. However, radiator fans are to be mounted outside the main frame without the option of push-pull. There's also no dust filter here because NZXT hates you. Our last bit of radiator support is a 120 mount at the back of the case that's occupied by our third included 120mm fan. A nearby switch cycles through the white LED options for the rear I/O assistant light and NZXT's trademark shroud LED accent. Why you know RGB was my first question as well. Rounding out the exterior, there's a removable dust filter for the power supply, along with two wide feet with rubber pads to prevent scratching your desk surface. Inside the chassis, we see a spacious layout that's more akin to a traditional ATX tower. Pre-installed standoffs are always appreciated, but the absence of any rubber grommets in this case is a bit disappointing, considering the Manta's hefty price tag. That said, there are plenty of cutouts in all the right places around the motherboard. An interesting cable bar hides most of the visible wires, though you can still see some of the clutter behind that would otherwise be hidden with rubber grommets. CPU coolers up to 160mm tall are supported, along with video cards up to 363mm in length. Just note that super thick or triple slot cards will run into clearance issues with the power supply shroud. My GPU gets awful close, but 6 ventilation slits on the top of the shroud ensure your card isn't completely cut off from your front intake. There's also a hole to neatly route all of your PCIe cables, or to perform the world's first inter-chassis puppet show. Assuming your card doesn't overlap the large cutout at the front of the shroud, custom water coolers can enjoy some relatively thick radiators without much trouble. Two removable SSD trays to the right of the cable bar are held in place by single thumb screws and work much like the mounting plates found on the H440 to proudly display your drives upside down. That's why I'd recommend silicone powered drives, since they look awful no matter which way they're facing. Another gripe that I have with the case's storage solution is that both SSD mounts need to be removed in order to install a 3.5-inch drive on the other side. A dedicated drive tray would have made a lot of sense here, and frankly should have been considered for a case at this price point. While this makes me sad inside, there's nothing like an 8-pin PWM fan hub to turn your day around. Positioned right behind the motherboard tray, this module is an excellent addition for a small form factor case with this much fan support, since most mini ITX motherboards have a limited number of fan headers. Within the large lower compartment of the case is a mounting area for an ATX power supply of literally any length, and there's also a lonely spot at the front for a 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drive that screws in from the bottom of the case. Again, an independent mounting tray would have simplified installation here. Swapping out the drive after the system is up and running means having to drop the entire case on its side instead of handling a single removable tray. Additionally, all this empty space kind of feels like a missed opportunity to include more drive options, or perhaps a mounting bracket for a water cooling pump. On the bright side, so much room for activities means cable management in the Manta is literally the easiest thing you'll ever do in your life. Every other task will seem like child labor in comparison to how effortless it is to tidy up all the wires in this mini behemoth. Numerous tie-downs, ample room behind the cable bar, and a cavernous compartment the size of a clown's shoebox make it easy to just say f*** it and slap the forgiving side panel on without so much as touching a zip tie. Indeed, the f*** it level of this case's cable management is among the highest I've seen to date, and it's pretty fantastic. Overall, the Manta targets a very specific niche of builder looking for a water-cooled mini ITX system that prioritizes overclockability and cooling over space efficiency. There's really a ton of hardware options that can fit comfortably in the case, while still offering folks a smooth and easy build process with zero cable management fuss. With the abundance of features and quality steel construction, this is clearly a case built with enthusiasts in mind, and the $140 price tag certainly reflects this. While I can confirm that this is a good case with loads of potential, there are a few oversights and missed opportunities that should have been resolved if consumers are forking out as much as they would on a high-end ATX mid-tower. In my opinion, the price point is the main drawback here, as the Mini ITX case market continues to become more and more competitive, so I'd keep an eye out to see whether the MSRP drops in the near future, or if you can snag a deal during whatever upcoming holiday lurks around the corner. If you already have the funds because you're just so money, the Manta is an excellent choice for those who know how to best utilize its enchanting powers. But